Hello, welcome for this new video on the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Today we will see several other verses about practices of feeling space. It belongs to the same series from verses 46 to 51. And curiously enough, strangely enough, the commentators do not have much to say about those practices. Even the previous verse 45 is not even commented, is not even present, it seems, in the version of Ananda, the oldest commentary we have. But anyway, verse 46. Om tanūdeśe śūnyataiva kṣaṇamātraṃ vibhāvayet nirvikalpaṃ nirvikalpo nirvikalpasvarūpabhāk. One should evoke, or rather feel, kṣaṇamātraṃ, just for one moment, śūnyataiva, the very emptiness, tanūdeśe, inside the body, in the space of the body, that is in the body. One should feel for a moment that very emptiness, that pure emptiness inside the body, feeling that inside the body is completely empty. Then nirvikalpasvarūpabhāk, nirvikalpo, nirvikalpaṃ, the one whose attention is undivided and who in that undivided way pays an undivided attention to what is undivided, nirvikalpam nirvikalpaha, being undivided, with undivided attention to the undivided, nirvikalpasvarūpabhāk, one shall enjoy one's essence, which is undivided, one's undivided essence. So again here, the second line is built on that very important word, nirvikalpa, vikalpa, without vikalpa. You've maybe heard of the expression nirvikalpa samadhi, the so-called perfect concentration, and nirvikalpa is often translated as without concept or without mental construct. It is true that vikalpa is built on the root, on the verbal root klip, which means to build. And vikalpa would mean something which is built, a construction, a mental construction, like a mental image. But here the meaning is more precise, and it has been very precisely described by Buddhist philosophers, which had a very great influence, who belonged to a school called Yogacara, the school of the practice of yoga. So it had a huge influence on yoga and all meditation related practices. And it held that words do not touch things, do not grasp things. They only grasp at other words. So how do they define their meaning? Just by excluding each other's meaning. A cow is all accepted non-cow. A spoon is all accepted non-spoon. And like that, but that cross referenced exclusion process, somehow meanings do come about. It's just like in a dictionary. In a dictionary, words do not mean things, but words do mean other words. A word is defined by other words. And like that, words exclude each other's meanings, and they come thus to have somehow a more or less defined meaning. And so they work as if they were grasping something, when in fact it's completely mental. It works completely inside the mind. It does not go outside of the mind. Words, language do not touch reality. It's just like a dream working within itself, like a dictionary. Words meaning other words, who mean other words, and so on ad infinitum, without end. And here it just means that usually when attention grasps something, it grasps it through excluding other things. Like I said last time, when I look at that red apple, my attention simultaneously, by that very action, excludes, forgets, puts aside in the dark background of consciousness, all the other things. And in that way, I can hear a conversation even in a noisy place, and my attention can select, can extract the sounds I want to hear to get the meaning out of the chaos of all the sounds that are reaching my ears and my brain. So vikalpa means a process of selection, of exclusion, to get at something out of all the rest. And nirvikalpa then would mean something which is not selected, without choice, choiceless awareness, without excluding anything. So nirvikalpa means one whose attention is undivided, is whole, is completely open, wide open, without making any fragmentation, without excluding anything, without getting rid of anything, without forgetting everything. So it is full awareness, full mindfulness, and that's space-like awareness. And that's the goal of this practice, to go from a fragmented awareness to an open, space-like, sky-like awareness. And this is especially obvious in that series of practices about space, about emptiness. But this is true for all the practices in that collection, that is the Vegan Bhairava Tantra. So in that way, one can open awareness by feeling the emptiness inside the body, like closing the eyes and just exploring that empty space inside the body, as if the body were a sort of balloon filled with air and thus empty in that sense. And Ananda here gives us a quote from the Siddhanta Muktavali, but it's a rather Vedantic quote. Pashyami chitramiva sarvamidam. I see all this as a picture, as a painting, and as a wonderful painting, like a magic show. Tishtami nishkalavad eka aneka rupa. Even though I am filled with, I am of many forms, I remain undivided, nishkala, and so on. Atmanam advayam ananta sukhaika rupam smarami dagdha rashanam iva suprapancham. Well, anyway, it's not very much related to that practice. It's a general statement about everything is an illusion, is the wonder of manyness inside me who is one, and I am aware of that. I see that. Okay, next verse, 47, sorry. 47. Om sarvaṃ dehagataṃ dravyaṃ viyadvyāptaṃ mṛgekṣaṇe vibhāvayet tatas tasya bhavanā sthirā bhavet. So the whole body is pervaded by viyadvyāptaṃ, by space. The whole substance of the body pervaded by space. Viyadvyāptaṃ, mṛgekṣaṇe, O you who has deer-like eyes, you goddess. Vibhāvayet, one should feel that again. So this is again a variation about feeling space in the body, about feeling space within the body, pervading the body, infusing the body like water. And tataha, then, tasya, for him, bhavanā sa, that feeling, that realization, that feeling, sthirā bhavet, shall become permanent, shall become more and more alive. It's always the same idea as the previous, as in the previous verses. I feel space, and the more I feel space, the more that space becomes alive. It's no more in the background, it comes to the foreground. It becomes more and more felt, and therefore more and more alive, like with waves of vibrations, the tactile sensations, waves, like feeling the feet, feeling the skin, feeling the vibrations of that skin, feeling the pulsations of the blood, and space is felt more and more like a vibration, something alive, something breathing. The space breathes in and out in itself. And verse 48, Om dehāntare tvagvibhāgam bhittibhūtaṃ vicintayet na kiṃcid antare tasya bhavet. So, vicintayet, one should clearly again pay one's attention, project one's awareness inside the body, dehāntare, and tvagvibhāgam, one should feel the skin part. One should feel the skin part, bhittibhūtaṃ, being like a wall, being like a wall, the skin like a wall, and one should project one's awareness inside the body, the skin being like a wall, like a balloon again, with nothing inside. Na kiṃcid antare tasya dhyāyana. One should contemplate, one should see or again feel that inside it there is nothing. Na kiṃcid antare. And contemplating, seeing thus, adhyeya bhavet, one shall come to enjoy that which cannot be seen, that which cannot be contemplated, adhyeya. So swasmin dehavishaye, inside, in the field inside the body, tvagvibhāgam yavishta bhamhishto bhaga tam bhittibhūtaṃ jadabaha nirvikalpaṃ. Just like a material wall, the commentator tells us. Bhavet, one should feel, one should realize. That is, it's not a question of creating something which is not already the case, but rather of putting one's attention to something which is already there, but which is usually in the background of our awareness, and thus which is not enjoyed, and therefore we don't get the fruit of that. It's always the same principle. And like that, instead of feeling oneself, or rather of believing oneself, to be inside the body, inside the confines of the walls of the body, like being confined at home, being locked down at home, one shall feel more and more pervasive, all pervasive, open, wide open. And the body is felt more and more like waves in the sea of awareness, of silent awareness, silent awareness. So that's very simple practice. Feeling space in the body, feeling space in the body, feeling the empty body, not empty like a dead body, not in that sense, but feeling the liveliness of space pervading the body, feeling that the body, the sensation, the actual sensations of the body are just vibrations of that space, of that aware space, of that conscious space, of that feeling space. It's space feeling itself, as it were. And hence, feeling oneself no longer to be in the body, but the body to be in oneself, in space, and oneself to be that space, but not dead space, not jarakasha, not insentient space, but chidakasha, aware space, lively space, alive, feeling space, luminous space, moving, pulsating, vibrating space. A space full of creative power. So that's the practice here in those verses. Thank you for listening. That's all for today. See you next time.